Man, Eagles fans, buckle up, because there's a lot to unpack this week, and honestly, the energy around the team is buzzing. Let's dive right in. First, we have to talk about Saquon Barkley and his take on A.J. Brown's recent comments. You know how things go when one of your stars speaks up, suddenly everyone's involved. From teammates to coaches to the media trying to dissect every word. But here's the thing, Barkley didn't shy away. He straight up agreed with A.J. And that honesty is what makes this team interesting. The vibe here isn't about calling anyone out, it's about improvement. Saquon pointed out that whether the team scores 10 points or 40, the focus has to be on growth and getting better each week. He's right. No matter how talented a team is, perfection is a myth in this league. And every single game teaches lessons. That mindset, treating each performance as a stepping stone, is exactly what makes players like Barkley so valuable. And it's not just about scoring. It's about creating a system where everyone can perform at their peak. Now, speaking of systems, let's talk offense. A.J. Brown's comments weren't just random chatter. They're a reflection of a bigger picture. The offense has room to improve, no question. Sometimes it comes down to the play calling, sometimes the matchups. And sometimes it's about just getting the ball to your best players at the right time. A.J. Brown has proven time and again that he can change the game when he's involved. And that's what the team needs. When a player of his caliber is sidelined in the strategy, it limits the potential of the offense as a whole. It's not about ego, it's about efficiency. And the conversations that Barkley and A.J. are having with the front office, that's exactly the kind of communication that can elevate the team. It shows the leadership in the locker room is proactive, not reactive. And that's crucial as the season heads into the second half. On the injury front, the Eagles are looking solid, which is huge because we all know games like this coming up against Detroit could determine seeding in the NFC. Cam Jurgens is reportedly limited, but the rest of the offensive line is healthy. Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Tyler Steen, and Jordan Maeda are all expected to suit up, which means the starting five should be out there holding the line. Having your core healthy as you approach these pivotal matchups is half the battle. And make no mistake, this game could be a season-defining one. Win here, and suddenly your positioning in the playoff picture becomes much stronger. Knock off Detroit at home, and you're not just gaining a win, you're claiming leverage over some of the NFC's top teams. The schedule after this gets interesting but manageable, with games against Washington, the Raiders, and potentially the Cowboys, so the stakes could not be higher. Back to Saquon and A.J. Barkley made a point about the urgency every player needs. You can't rest on a win from the previous week. Every play, every quarter matters. If you take your foot off the gas, even for a moment, you can lose against teams you shouldn't. The lesson here is simple, a relentless focus on improvement and accountability, and Barkley's approach is reflective of that. He's not shying away from the tough questions, and he's putting the team's growth first. That mindset is contagious, and when your stars lead by example, it elevates everyone around them. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the cornerback situation, because there's a lot happening with Cooper Dean. There's been chatter about possibly moving him to the outside. And while the coaches initially preferred him in the slot, things are evolving. With Michael Carter joining the roster and learning the system, the flexibility to adjust the secondary opens up some exciting possibilities. Dean on the outside alongside Quan Mitchell in a slot corner like Carter could be the most dynamic setup the Eagles have fielded in years. It's about maximizing talent, and the team clearly sees that. Every adjustment is strategic, designed to put players where they can have the most impact. That's how you build a defense that's not just good on paper but dominant on the field. Speaking of the secondary, Quan Mitchell is the name that keeps popping up in conversations, and for good reason. His technique, his ability to read the quarterback, and his control in both press and off coverage is exceptional. Analysts and former players have pointed out that he transitions smoothly in coverage, maintains leverage, and consistently reads the quarterback in a way that very few young corners do. Even in his sophomore year, he's showing glimpses of something special. Yes, he's still learning, and yes, he's refining his ball skills, but the foundation is already elite. The kind of instincts Mitchell shows, knowing when to collapse, when to break on the ball, when to disrupt the route, those are skills that don't just appear overnight. That's why there's excitement about his potential to become one of the league's top corners. Once he combines his technical skill with more game experience and confidence, there's no telling how dominant he could be, and the numbers back it up. Mitchell's second slowest completion percentage allowed speaks volumes about his impact in coverage. There aren't many young corners in the league that can consistently disrupt passes and control routes the way he does. The projections are huge, with more reps and increased confidence. Those near interceptions will turn into picks, and he could easily be on track for a breakout season with multiple turnovers. The ceiling is incredibly high, and it's not just hype, his play speaks for itself. So, when you put all of this together, the Eagles are in a fascinating spot. Saquon Barkley's leadership, A.J. Brown's influence, the flexibility in the secondary with Cooper Dean and Michael Carter, and the rising star that is Quan Mitchell. All of these pieces combine to create a team with serious upside. The focus now is consistency and execution. It's not enough to have the talent. The challenge is to put it all together on the field. Week after week, the next few games will be telling, and Eagles fans should be paying attention. Because what? As unfolding isn't just about wins and losses, it's about a team finding its identity and building momentum toward something special. At the heart of it all, the underlying theme is improvement. Every conversation, every adjustment, every minute on the field is about getting better. That's what Barkley was talking about. And that's what A.J. Brown is reinforcing. You can't just rest on your laurels. And the leadership from the locker room is clear. The goal is constant progress. It's about maximizing the talent around you, creating opportunities for the playmakers, and holding each other accountable. This mentality is what separates good teams from great ones. And the Eagles are showing signs that they want to be in that elite category. Now, let's continue breaking down the quarterback and secondary situation, because this is where things get really interesting for the Eagles. Cooper Dean's potential move to the outside isn't just a minor tweak, it could completely change how this defense operates. Dean has been solid in the slot, but when you consider his versatility and the opportunity to pair him with Quan Mitchell on the outside, you start to see the kind of defensive alignment that can shut down elite offenses. The key here is flexibility. The coaches want to field the best lineup possible, and that means placing players where their skills create the maximum impact. Michael Carter moving into the slot gives Dean the chance to stretch his abilities on the perimeter. And when you look at matchups, that could be a game changer. Carter has experience in that position, and he's shown he can be a difference maker. That kind of strategic adjustment isn't flashy, but it's exactly what separates average defenses from ones that dominate. Quan Mitchell, on the other hand, is quickly becoming a cornerstone of the secondary. The level of technique he brings to every snap is rare for a player his age. Watching him in press coverage, he's not just trying to disrupt the receiver, he's controlling the route. He understands leverage, angles, and timing, and that's what makes him so difficult to beat. Off coverage, his awareness is just as impressive. He knows when to give cushion, when to step up, and how to read the quarterback's eyes. That kind of football IQ isn't something you can teach overnight. It comes from instinct, study, and sheer dedication. What's amazing is that Mitchell is still so young. As he gains experience and confidence, those near interceptions are going to turn into game-changing turnovers. He's already demonstrating skills that veteran corners spend years trying to perfect. One of the most exciting things about Mitchell is his consistency in press coverage. He's always in the right position, disrupting routes and forcing quarterbacks to make tough decisions. Even when he doesn't come away with a pick, his presence alone alters the game. Receivers have to adjust their routes, quarterbacks have to hesitate, and that creates opportunities elsewhere for the defense. His impact goes beyond the stat sheet. It's about control and influence over the entire defensive scheme, and that's why analysts and former players are so bullish on his future. They see a corner who isn't just talented, but disciplined, technically sound, and constantly improving. The ceiling for Mitchell is off the charts. When you combine Dean's potential move to the outside, Michael Carter's slot capabilities, and Mitchell's rapid development, you start to see a secondary that could legitimately be among the best in the league. It's not just about talent, it's about alignment, strategy, and execution. The front office and coaching staff clearly understand that, and the adjustments we're seeing are designed to maximize every player's strengths. You're creating opportunities for impact plays, shutting down opposing passing games, and giving the offense more confidence because they know the defense can hold its own. That's a powerful combination. And it's exactly the kind of synergy that makes teams competitive deep into the playoffs. The quarterback discussion also feeds directly into this. The offense is built around getting playmakers like A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley involved consistently. Barkley agreeing with A.J.'s perspective. isn't a point of friction, it's a sign of alignment. Both players understand the importance of accountability, communication, and growth, whether it's a 10-point game or a 40-point game. They know the standard is always improvement. That mentality flows throughout the locker room. When your top players lead with that mindset, it creates a culture where everyone is striving to be better. And for a team like the Eagles, who are competing for top seeds in the NFC, that kind of culture can be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. Looking ahead, the schedule won't be easy. Games against Detroit, Chicago, and Buffalo are pivotal, and they're opportunities to test whether the team is truly ready to compete at the highest level. Injuries, matchups, and strategy all come into play. But the healthy roster gives the Eagles a fighting chance. Having Jurgens and the offensive line performing at their best is critical, especially against teams with strong defensive fronts. When your offense can protect the quarterback and create lanes for Saquon, it takes pressure off the secondary and allows players like Mitchell and Dean to play aggressively. It's all interconnected. And understanding that synergy is key to seeing why these adjustments matter so much. It's also worth noting the way leadership is emerging. Players like Barkley, Brown, and Mitchell aren't just playing their positions, they're setting the tone. Barkley's approach to accountability, Brown's insistence on involvement, and Mitchell's technical excellence are all examples of how leadership manifests on this team. That kind of leadership is quiet, but it's incredibly effective. It sets expectations for the rest of the roster, drives internal competition, and elevates the standard for everyone. The Eagles are showing that they're not just relying on talent, they're building a team culture designed to sustain success over multiple seasons, and then you add in the coaching adjustments, the flexibility to move Dean, the strategic placement of Carter, and the way the secondary is being positioned for maximum impact all speak to a coaching staff that's thinking several steps ahead. It's not about reaction, it's about preparation and positioning. When your team can anticipate matchups and put players in optimal positions, it creates opportunities for turnovers, sacks, and big plays. That's how elite teams win games. And the Eagles are demonstrating that level of preparation in the end. It's an exciting time to be a fan. You've got Barkley and Brown driving the offense with accountability and fire. A developing secondary featuring Mitchell and Dean that's shaping up to be a force. And a coaching staff making adjustments to maximize talent. Every week is a learning experience. Every matchup is a test, and every player is contributing to a bigger picture. The Eagles aren't just competing, they're evolving. And when you watch this team play, it's clear that the growth, strategy, and talent are all coming together in a way that could make this season truly memorable. The narrative isn't just about individual stars, it's about a team understanding its strengths, addressing its weaknesses, and playing with a level of precision and intelligence that is rare in today's game. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Philadelphia might have just pulled off one of the most audacious moves in recent NFL memory, and the entire NFC East is buzzing with disbelief. According to multiple insider whispers now echoed by ESPN, the Eagles have landed a new signing that could reshape not only their season, but the balance of power in the division. While official confirmation remains under wraps, the locker room chatter and sudden shifts in team activity suggests something monumental has just taken place. Sources close to the organization describe the move as revolutionary, the kind of acquisition that instantly transforms a strong contender into a potential juggernaut. Coaches are reportedly ecstatic, veterans stunned, and rivals, especially in Dallas and New York, are scrambling to reassess their defensive strategies. One anonymous executive was overheard saying, "If what I'm hearing is true, the Eagles might have just rewritten the NFC East script." The signing, shrouded in secrecy, is said to bring a rare blend of explosiveness and leadership. A player whose mere presence could redefine Philadelphia's identity on both sides of the ball. Social media is in a frenzy, with fans dissecting every cryptic post from players and insiders, trying to pinpoint who this mysterious newcomer could be. What's even more intriguing is the timing. The Eagles were not expected to make any major roster changes, especially this deep into the season. Yet, the front office, known for its boldness, appears to have struck again, proving that in Philadelphia, ambition never sleeps. Some reports hint at a superstar caliber name, someone with proven playoff pedigree. Others whisper about a hidden gem, a breakout talent ready to explode under the bright lights of Lincoln Financial Field. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the Eagles have everyone talking. The NFC East is officially on high alert, and opponents are nervously glancing toward Philadelphia. If this signing lives up to the mounting hype, the rest of the conference might soon find itself chasing green shadows all the way to January. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.